I want to start a conversation about being Black in America, about technology, and about economic empowerment. Before I do, I want to let you hear an excerpt from a TED Talk by Dr. Lance. Listen to this.
Statistically, I'm not supposed to be here. I'm an African-American male born and raised in North St. Louis. I'm supposed to be a part of the prison and penal system. I'm supposed to be a part of the double-digit unemployment. I'm supposed to be a part of low wages, but I came from a very loving family who fed me spiritually, physically, and mentally, and told me if I was smart and if I worked hard, that I could be successful, and I believed them. I also believed my teacher, Miss Reed, in the 6th grade that said that technology is the wave of the future. And if you work hard and if you're smart, you'll be successful. And I believed her too. So fast forward, public school, state college, or career in technology, being able to transfer military technology to commercialization, being able to testify in front of Congress on financing technology, helping create an urban technology park, and ultimately been able to be appointed to the White House Task Force on Economic Conversion. I could not wait to call my mother and tell her nurturing has assisted me going from North St. Louis to the White House.
So now we know the story about Dr. Lance McCarthy, and I wanted to spark us to talk about our stories, your stories. When you think about technology specifically and the opportunity it brings, is it equitable or is it not equitable? Does it provide the empowerment necessary to bring up the lives of people who have felt geographically, economically, socially apart from the generational wealth that we talk about here on Swell a lot? There's a lot of conversations on Swell about generational wealth. It's been really invigorating. So I want to pose a question to all of you listening, especially the listeners who are Black. Do you have a new experience in life because of technology in relationship to financial empowerment? Do you feel like something about these new innovations have given you more access to money and therefore more mobility? That is the question I have for you. And also, Dr. McCarthy, I'm going to call you Lance because I met you and I feel like I can call you Lance. Bring us into your thinking about this. And let us sort of meditate on the triggers of this conversation too, because people work really hard and don't get anywhere. And I want to honor the fact that that's true as well. And there's reasons for that. But you yourself are an economist, so you know data and you know what's happening and you study it and you help people interpolate it. Can you help us know where we are right now in terms of mobility, financial stability, and the experience of an African American in this country?
To answer that question, it does give you more access. But if you do not have the capital to be able to invest in yourself, to be able to utilize this tool or these new innovations to be able to create generational wealth, how can it help? I'm in the summits. I'm following the motivational speakers, the coaches, the mentors, and everything sounds just great. I'm ready. I'm geared up. I'm ready to run, to be able to provide a generational wealth, to be able to provide for my family, to be able to do more in life. But there are still some roadblocks. But just stay focused and just pray, I guess, to be able to get in these rooms and utilize the technology to be able to provide and make a living I'm a single mom. It's really hard for me to go out here and get a job when you don't have support. So I'm working on innovating. I'm working on trying to find ways that I can be available for my children, as well as grow a wealth for my family. So it's touch and go for me, but all you can do is never give up. Never give it up. All right, thank you. And this is your girl, Yo Gotti.
Hi, Deborah. What a great topic to have a discussion on. And I got a chance to listen to the snippet that you provided of Dr. McCarthy, as well as I went back and listened to the entire TEDx conversation that he had back in 2015, 8 years ago. And actually, I even did a little more research on him and kind of Googled his background a bit. And his bio is just a plethora of accomplishments, achievements, different appointments, different partnerships, collaborations, not only in the state of Missouri, where he's from, but he's actually worked with many, many other cities across America, I guess across the globe. And apparently he's a very big philanthropist and trying to provide a lot of information, provide a lot of things for communities, for the African American community as well, and for the youth. So I'm just kind of curious to find out, in 8 years, he did mention something about a low percentage of African Americans involved in technology. I just wonder what the numbers are now, 8 years, 2023, 8 years later. I'd be curious to find that out. But in answer to your question, or at least the topic about has technology provided financial, I guess, wealth or financial generational wealth, I personally can't say that it has. I was born in the late 50s, early 60s. I'm kind of one of those, late baby boomer group of people. And when technology was coming about in the 70s and 80s, when I was working professionally in corporate America, it was just at its infancy. I mean, I remember computers, the big computers that were kind of boxy. Cell phones were just kind of coming around. I don't even think Apple had even started with any of their Apple ones, twos, or whatever. I do remember, Macintosh and all that, but I mean, things were just beginning to start in the infancy. I mean, I remember my first cell phone, I think, was a old BlackBerry, and so that kind of dates me, right? But how technology, though, has how I have embraced technology, actually, I should say, is when I left corporate America and started my own business, and had to use technology more in my own professional business. And that's how I embraced it. And as far as generational wealth, no, not really. But, I mean, it did help me embrace technology to the point where it's beneficial to the type of business that I have now. And it is really geared towards technology more than anything else. I guess it's just the curve that we all have to go through with technology. So, very good topic, and I would love to know more about what percentages have changed in 8 years with Dr. McCarthy's information that he provided in his TEDx, and also in the other individuals on the Swellcast community who would have any more comments. I look forward to hearing what they may have to say about your question in hand. I know there's one gentleman I think that you have also interviewed before in the past who's in the technology field, Mr. James Hicks of Hicks News Media. He may have some great information to share about this topic. So if he hasn't already, I'm sure he may want to chime in as well. All right, but wonderful topic, Deborah. Thank you so much.
Hey, this is Mike Scribe 7. I figured I would give the Joe Lunchbox point of view, punching the clock. Not, no sponsors, no budgets and stuff like that. But it kind of helped me and it kind of hurt me. when I took commercial art in school, and commercial art and layout and design, which was, pretty good, a pretty good job. Well, computers came along, and it was like starting to change over to computer animation. And the vocational school didn't have it because I went to vocational school half the day, and I did regular school the other half of the day. So we take the bus over there and come back around lunchtime. And our high school didn't have it. They had just made typing mandatory. You know what I mean? So I really didn't pick it up in college. I picked up sports, and that's a whole nother story. But then later on, after beating my body up for years, because of my size, as soon as I get to the job, it's like 90-pound jackhammer, 18-pound, 16-pound, 12 pounds, whatever, sledgehammers, the biggest wrenches you can find. And a couple guys, they asked me to come work for them because they said, they seen what was going on. It wasn't fair. So then they sent me to Tennessee to be a Category 1 vibration analyst. So basically they was like, look, you making too much money from the neck down. It's time for you to make some money from the neck up, and it's partly my fault too. And I had to tell my stepson, like, yo, don't dumb down. You're a smart kid. Let these people know you're smart. Don't be afraid of the responsibility. And that kind of put me behind the 8 ball, coming up like that. But getting a chance to read sine waves and doing preventive maintenance on compressors and any rotating equipment, and be able to tell them exactly what's wrong with it, whether it needs a bearings or whether it's the shaft or whatever the case may be. And I enjoy it. I mean, it's just one more thing to go on the resume. But as far as just working, African American man working in the United States is rough. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. I'm grinding, I grind, and sometimes I did the work of 2 men. Sometimes I ended up getting in fights because I was trying to stay on the job, and they laid off somebody that they wouldn't have laid off if I wasn't, doing what I was doing, So had to learn that lesson the hard way. And I call it tap dancing. It's like, I don't know if these people were afraid of me, but I mean, I talk passionately, and I'm big on safety, and I started bringing up some things that was going to cost them some money. But even before that, they was like, calm down. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I'm just talking. Why are you so upset? And I'm like, nah, I'm just talking. And I think they heard me because I was basically, playing the game like anybody else. So we have cameras all over the place. They say it's no microphones, but I believe it is. It's a platinum refining plant. And I was saying how, I deal with the supervisor, which is just say, yeah, okie doke, yeah, okay, because he really only wants to hear himself anyway. So then he goes back and he tells everybody, that Mike, he's the sharpest guy in the boiler room. But I didn't say anything. I just agreed with him. And I guess he got mad and he made up some stuff and got me up out of there. But I've laughed at a lot of jokes that wasn't funny. I've asked a lot of questions that I knew the answer because, it gave them, it made them feel good, like they was teaching me something, and it kind of puts them, above you in their mind, And I'm not going to say that it was easy. Just got 2 hips replaced. Now I'm going back in, to do it again with a little bit more knowledge, but it's not easy. It's not easy. Not for the choices I had when I was young, so, or the opportunity, I guess you could say. So thanks for letting me contribute.